My dear friends, my business partners, and all of the allies of our young Belarusian nation, I want to tell you a story about the place I come from. I only ask that you don't keep it to yourself. Tell your neighbor, your family, and your friends, and I hope they will do the same. My country's path was never linear. We have gained freedom as many times as we have lost it. We persevered through the rise and fall of empires, revolutions, wars, and bloodshed. We overcame the waves of crackdowns and suppressions of the Soviet state, as our loved ones were taken away in unmarked cars in the middle of the night, never to be seen again. When the wall finally came down, we prayed that our dreams for independence and individual freedoms would be fulfilled. We clung to liberty as our natural birthright, not a gift from the sovereign, but an innate truth that existed long before any government did. Ultimately, our freedom was not extinguished from the outside. The threat emerged from within, and another wall was built, this time a wall in our hearts and our minds. For the last 26 years, our government has been reducing us to nothing, stripping us of our basic human rights, the freedom of speech, opinion, and expression, the freedom to elect our government, and even the freedom to be tried by impartial, unbiased courts that enforce justice instead of inflicting punishment for our thought crimes. Our life as Belarusians is different from what you would expect. After all, there are no concrete walls, no watchtowers with guards pointing machine guns at you, and no barbed wire. There are no nuclear survival drills, no routine visits to bomb shelters, no enemy troops across the border. And so, at times, you may think that oppression is gone and the challenges to our nation have somehow passed. Instead, we live in fear of our government that doesn't respect the sacredness of our free will. We live in fear of a regime that does not serve the people but instead crushes our soul and threatens our livelihood if we stand up to injustice and make our voices heard. There are always eyes staring at you, asleep or awake, indoors or in the street. There is no escape. Our big brother claims to be watching us for our own sake, asking us to police ourselves, censor our children and neighbors, to help avoid the otherwise inevitable war. But we can no longer live this way. This year is different. We are more connected than ever before, and we cannot be silenced. Political prisoners are our modern-day heroes. Their stories spread like wildfire across our Telegram channels, and the truth cannot be contained. Hundreds of thousands of people have assembled to take a stand. As hundreds of protesters were grabbed off the streets and jailed, thousands took their place. We hold the line. We honor the sacrifices and courageous spirit that defined this continent a decade ago, when those brutal walls came crashing down. We are prepared to fight for our own freedom, our human rights, and our values that are not so different from yours. Do not turn your back on this moment, my friends. As the saying goes, those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it. You cannot wage wars against terrorist networks far away and ignore the oppression at your doorsteps in the heart of Europe. It may come back and to haunt you one day, endangering your own freedoms. I am counting on you to help us make our voices heard. Help our hopes overcome our fears. Our shared past has shown us that together we can move mountains, building something bigger than our own experiences. We can tear down the wall others have erected to keep us away from each other. Together, we can hold the line. So go ahead, share this story on your social media, tell your friends, talk about us at dinner table. We need your voices, the voices of our friends. Drown out the yelling of our enemies. God bless you, and живе Belarus!